All right. Hello everyone. And today what I want to talk about is the upcoming siege of Crimea, done and perpetrated by the armed forces of Ukraine and just Ukraine in general, Ukrainian partisans and so on. And that is also gonna be done with many types of weapons Ukraine has, including the sea drone Magura V5 and the aerial drone Ukraine also has, Mugen 5 Pro, and also with the Storm Shadow Scalp missiles, maybe even potentially some ATACMS missiles that are set to arrive in Ukraine very soon. And it is gonna be a fierce siege. Very fierce, I believe. And it's slowly actually happening already. The proper preparations are already being taken to cause that siege, to get to that siege. And if some people who live under a rock wonder how, well, first, there was just recently, remember the Storm Shadow missile attack on Sevastopol in occupied Crimea, where at least 33 Russian generals died in that one strike. Very big loss for Russia. And their dumb government brains are still trying to cover it up, even though it's not working. It's not working. Just stop it, Russia, already. Just admit it. That they're dead. And yeah, the siege of Crimea, it is gonna be insane. It is gonna last for a very long time, much longer than the siege of Mariupol that unfortunately Ukraine had to suffer through last year for basically 3 months. And finally, Russia and the DPR, Donetsk People's Republic, Russia's puppet in literal sense, they got the upper hand and they won Mariupol to themselves, which is 90% destroyed, I'd say. So you got Mariupol after 3 months of bombing, shelling it to the utter destruction, and you call it a win. What is wrong with you, Russia? But yeah, I honestly believe that the siege of Crimea is gonna be so much more worse for Russia than the siege of Mariupol was to Ukraine. And that is because Crimea is so important to Russia. It is so important to them that if Russia loses Crimea, it would destroy Russia in a literal sense. Then Russia might actually start falling apart like the Soviet Union did in 1991. Well, the Putin regime will definitely fall apart then. And yeah. And also, when Ukraine gets back Crimea, which they will, definitely, it just takes time. But when they will get Crimea back, the war is over, and then Russia will be defeated finally. And yeah. And yeah. Siege of Crimea. They're gonna make movies about that siege. And lots of movies. Like they're gonna make movies about the Battle of Bakhmut as well. The most fiercest battle in the Ukraine war. The second one is Mariupol, of course. But the first one, that Russia poured their most soldiers and resources into getting a city with less than 100,000 people living there before the war, to them. like 100,000 Russian soldiers died in that Battle of Bakhmut. Well, also civilians added, unfortunately. Ukraine also suffered heavy losses during the Battle of Bakhmut, but that was like 20,000 dead, not anywhere close to 100,000 or something. And yeah. And also another weapon that they're definitely gonna use on the siege of Crimea when they're gonna get plenty of more territory liberated. Ukraine, that you're gonna get liberated from the Russian occupiers. They're gonna use HIMARS, of course. Saint HIMARS, Uncle HIMARS. You're fucked, Crimea. Literally, you're fucked. And also, when the siege of Crimea is happening, from some point on, bye bye, Putin's one of the best achievements of Vladimir Putin. Bye bye, Kerch Strait Bridge. And you're out of here under the water. You attacked Ukraine first, Russia. You took their cities of Mariupol and Chernihiv also at the start of the war. If you're wondering what happened in Chernihiv, when Russia initially invaded Ukraine, they took Mariupol under the siege straight away as well, but they also took another city called Chernihiv under the siege in northern Ukraine, which is not actually that far from the capital city of Kiev, but it's also not far from the Russian border. So they also took that city under the siege. But they did not succeed in that siege. Ukrainians defeated that siege, thankfully so. Ukrainian victory for Chernihiv, thankfully. Well done, Ukraine. Glory to you. Glory to the heroes. Watch out, Russia. Ukraine is gonna have their revenge now for the siege of Mariupol and the siege of Chernihiv by doing the siege of Crimea to you, Russia, which is gonna be a lot more powerful and with a lot more military losses than the siege of Chernihiv and Mariupol combined. So yeah, you better watch out, Russia. But anyway, that's all I had for you wonderful people tonight. And support Ukraine at all costs. Don't support Russia. Slava Ukraine. And in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye bye, everyone.